Hi guys, at the time of me making this video we're only 2 weeks away from the release of Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. If it's already out, then greetings from the past. I thought I'd do a video on the evolution of Snakes and the Metal Gear series. This is only on the main games released on consoles though. It doesn't include anything non-canon, handheld games or spin-offs, though all of that is pretty good stuff too. So then, first up, the game that started it all, Metal Gear. So, as you'd expect, the graphics were very basic, but it was 1987. But the animation wasn't half bad, and it did introduce a few neat mechanics that you'd see later on in the series, such as the codec system. And also the game was quite heavy on stealth, and that's obviously again a big part of this series. In fact, it was one of the earliest games to introduce stealth, so well done to them! So that brings us to Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, not to be confused with Snake's Revenge like I did the first time. The graphics are, slightly slicker this time, but the main difference is that Snake can actually crawl and sort of duck down now, whereas he could only run around before, and also the enemies can look around rather than just straight lines. So that brings us on to the big kahuna, Metal Gear Solid.
This is Snake. Colonel, can you hear me? Loud and clear.
This game, to me, is perfection. It without question was revolutionary and just wow. I think it's my favourite game of all time and I can't really see that changing. It was like you were playing the lead role in a movie. The story, though ridiculous, was amazing, clever plot twists and awesome voice acting. The level designs felt large and clever. The guards were great to trick and sneak past. The weapons were awesome. You could remote control a Nikita missile, into your target. I mean, how clever is that? The whole feel was quite tense and at times even deranged. The boss battles were intense too. There was replayability because you could get infinite ammo and stealth unlocks for completing the game. And seriously, who hasn't placed C4 directly onto a guard when the stealth camo? I know I did. As you can see, the graphics, though dated now, were impressive. I mean, at the time, my mind was blown. It was worth the 8-year wait between games. It featured a mainly overhead third-person view, but there was seamless switching into first-person. I hadn't really seen anything like that before. There were lots of awesome cutscenes. I won't though show cutscenes very much through this video because, of course, later on in games, with the advent of FMV scenes, it's not exactly a fair representation in the evolution of the graphics. But yeah, the cutscenes in this were brilliant. So just a 3-year gap now before we get to Metal Gear Solid 2.
This is Snake. Do you read me, Otacon?
Loud and clear, Snake.
Not everyone's favourite Metal Gear, mainly because we were forced to play the majority of it as Raiden, and obviously we just wanted to be Snake, but still a brilliant game. Evolution wise, the graphics featured a big improvement with it being on the PS2 of course, but the majority of the core mechanics and feel were much like the predecessor, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So yeah, Snake's coming a long way now. He looks more realistic than he ever has before. Looking good, buddy. And then it was time to play as Big Boss in Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. It was actually fairly difficult to get good HD footage for these PS2 releases, so apologies for that, but you can see it's not much different to the previous title. The graphics weren't hugely improved on, as they were still working on what the PS2 could do, but considering a lot of the game was set in the jungle with lots of plants to render, rather than just a few walls with a texture on, this was pretty impressive stuff. The use of camo was a big part of this game, with trying to blend into the jungle, bringing a new level of stealth to the franchise. But the biggest difference is the fact that this is a prequel for the first time and we play as Big Boss himself rather than against him like in Metal Gear. This truly opened up the world of Metal Gear and the intertwined storylines for the future installments. As you can see inside buildings, it's pretty much exactly the same as the previous game. Not a huge difference there at all. One final note though regarding this game is actually the music. It was on another level this time. It featured a very Bond-like theme, which just gave it a brilliant feel. Quite a big leap, graphically speaking, now, as we go to Metal Gear Solid 4. So, Snake is looking old as f***, but the graphics are gorgeous thanks to the PS3. The view has been updated nicely to a more over-the-shoulder look now, again with the first person at click of a button, although it makes it a lot easier to cheat and see more of your surroundings, it has to be said. It also features mental women slowly walking at you with very shiny boobs, which is always a plus. And there was a nice segment of the game where you go around a city. It looks great, and it makes you feel like you're in a James Bond movie again, which is a pretty neat touch. This game really did show off some of what was capable with the PS3 graphics wise, and brought back complex storytelling and better replayability as you could get emblems this time. I particularly remember getting the Raven emblem for beating it in just a few hours, but sadly there wasn't any trophy set up for this game. Again, it boasted entertaining but sometimes boring cutscenes, hours and hours of them to be exact. Here I'll leave you with one of the best boss battles in the game ever in my opinion. It's a tad homoerotic, it has to be said, but it also featured a cool element where it played songs and showed HUD graphics from the previous titles. And anyway, who doesn't want to see two old guys punching the crap out of each other? Nearly there, this is Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. Now, this game is just a prologue for the main event. It's just something to whet our appetite really. It shows off some of the new mechanics, how to play, the registering of targets on your overlay display and things like that. It also introduces the new extraction element, which we'll see later on. Of course the graphics are very swish, but we're going to take a look at them better in the final part. So the game we've been waiting for, out September 1st, Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. So it obviously looks glorious. The world looks massive and lush, and Big Boss looks awesome atop his horse there. Fair enough, I guess. The game features a cool bullet time element, and there's also a new buddy system whereby here the sniper Quiet is helping us out. You can see where she's aiming with her green sight trail. It really does look epic. Here trying to get extracted after completing the mission, and the enemies are still coming at you. It's brilliant. It's like an Indiana Jones-esque escape. I don't care why Quiet's dressed the way she is, there's no excuse for it. But hey, it's there, so we might as well enjoy it, right? The close-up over-shoulder view instead of full first person when using iron sights is perfect, with Boss blurring in the foreground and it focusing in the distance. Nothing exactly new about that, but it's pulled off nicely in this game. You can see the open world map is pretty big, using a jeep to get around here to the extraction point, and Big Boss loves to exit in style. It's awesome animation, it really is. And a nod to MGS and the start of the remote controlled missiles. Here you can see it's possible to launch your prosthetic limb and actually guide it to a target. It's exactly the type of mental stuff I would expect from and love about Japanese games. So there we have it, guys.
The world would be better off without snakes.
MGS5 may well be the last Metal Gear Solid game. Well, that was my little evolution of snakes, my little take on it. Hope you enjoyed that. Also hope you're as psyched as me for Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, 1st of September. If you already got it and you're watching this, hope you enjoyed it. I'm sure you did. Guys, if you enjoyed this, please give it a like and please subscribe to see more of my videos. Thanks for watching.
This is good, isn't it?
Snake, are you okay? Snake? Snake!
If you want to hear more random nonsense spewing out of my face, click that bloody massive red subscribe button. Bye!